Tell All Podcast was created as a platform for support, awareness, community. It's a safe place where individuals can discuss hard topics, life-changing situations that plague our community, and touch on topics including, but not limited to, silicone removal, cosmetic surgeries, relationships, urban culture, and more. Tell All exercises its right to have open dialogue and educate, but does not constitute advice or services. We are not providing professional advice from the podcast or the guests and is for private, non-commercial use only.
Girlfriend,
Hey, girlfriend.
how do you prepare for surgery?
Wow, how do I prepare for surgery? Damn. I think that, how did I prepare for surgery?
Well, I guess that's what we're going to have to talk about on today's topic.
I guess we can.
Welcome to the Tell All Podcast with your host, JB.
And me, Brenda Lee.
AA.
AA.
Just let that beat drop a little bit for you.
I was going to say, you get into your moves.
Hey. Get that shoulder leg. Get that shoulder leg.
A whole mess.
All right. Welcome to the podcast today, y'all. Tell All Podcast. So today's topic is preparing for surgery. What to do, what to look for, how to think going into it, and what to really, really prepare for emotionally.
Yes.
So,
All right, you get started first. You let us know how we prepare for surgery. So if I was a young lady coming to you and I'm like, hey, I'm going to get surgery in about 2 weeks, what should I know?
So one of the main things you should know is, or even ask your doctor, is what is your healing time? Knowing how long you're going to be down is imperative to help you with your preparation.
Right.
Knowing what foods you can eat and what you can't eat.
Right.
Just knowing how you need to have a conversation with your support system. So just knowing what to tell them and getting them ready for them to aid you in this process. So those are like the main important things that one should know and prepare for surgery. So I'm going to speak specifically to what we had. So preparing for that, it was going to be an emotional roller coaster. And I was able to prepare for that because I spoke to a young lady who had the surgery prior to me.
Right.
And she's like, you got to prepare emotionally, especially if you're a strong woman who's not used to being vulnerable, who's not used to having to have somebody wait on them hand and foot.
Right.
This surgery for the silicone removal in your buttocks is very invasive. It is very, you just threw me off because she went in that way, came out this way. It's invasive, so it is very, it's hard. It is hard. It's no easy way to put it. It is hard. So she told me, like, you have to prepare mentally to be on your stomach. You couldn't lay on your back. You couldn't sit.
No.
You had to be on your stomach at all times.
Almost 3 months.
For 3 months, yeah. And I know my elbows.
Right. You seen how ashy and
ashy, chafed, dry,
Yes, they
begging
hurt.
for
They were hurting.
yes,
so bad.
begging for some rest. Like, please figure out another way. Because they were tired. Like,
Yeah,
oh
they
my
were
God, it was
definitely
very
tired.
painful. And also, you're going through pain and you're experiencing drains hanging from you. So having to be able to be mobile, go to the bathroom, take care of yourself that way, washing up. Like, those things are things that you have to think about and take into consideration when preparing for surgery. So even if it's liposuction or breast augmentation, there are certain things that you have to prepare for.
I agree. And to add to that, I would say the preparation for surgery would also be, obviously, if you are a mother, getting that squared away with family and friends. You may think that you're going to be out for a week or two. You might catch a infection.
Yes.
end up in a hospital again, like we did.
Yeah, we both caught infections.
Exactly.
I was told it was going to be 12 weeks, and I was only going to be in the hospital for a week. I ended up being in the hospital for 2 weeks, going home for a few days, catching an infection, and being back in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Right.
That was not the plan.
No, that wasn't the plan. So those are the things that you have to account for when you have surgery or when you're going to undergo surgery. Any type of surgery. You can get your breast done, and it can also be the same thing, an infection or anything like blood clots. It's just a lot of different things. But also to add to that, I would say the children piece, the making sure that you have all the accommodations at home. Like if you're going to be going up steps, if you're going to be laying in your living room for a week or two or whatever, because sometimes some people can't get up the steps.
Yeah.
It's too painful.
It's too painful.
Right.
But also having a boppy that
yeah.
saves
It does.
your life. Like,
Definitely.
it was so great to have a boppy to be able to just adjust yourself and have that support to relieve some of that pressure off of your arms and your lower back that you were experiencing. So that was very helpful. Even when you're getting a BBL, having the BBL pillow to be able to sit on for a short period of time. They tell you like 20 minutes every couple hours or so.
Right.
So just being able to do that.
The vitamins that you took?
Yes, those were Vitamedica. I had taken post surgical vitamins and pre-surgical vitamins,
Right,
and
you
I
did.
felt like they were super helpful with bruising, with just preparing your body to go through such a invasive and traumatic experience. It helps you with just your recovery and not having to be down for as long as you think. They were very helpful. Like, I definitely saw a difference between when I didn't take it and when I
Versus when you
did take it.
Right.
And it was very, very helpful.
Liposuction in general is very invasive, and you know they say that honestly, when you look at it, like if you ever watch it, how
I've
they're
seen,
like
yeah, I've
plunging
seen
into
it.
your skin.
I mean, it looks like you're being gutted like a fish. That's how I explain
And the
it.
scary thing is that you know we're all human, and errors do occur.
Right.
And so if a doctor just moves the wrong way, it can really harm you in a way where you can be paralyzed or you know just puncture it's crazy to think about it, right? And
It
we've gone
is.
through
It
all that we
is.
have
And that
went
is
through.
something that, you take into consideration as well. Like, you pray for the best.
Of course.
Like, you pray for the best. You pray for your results to be amazing. You pray for your surgery to be successful and that you don't have these complications. But realistically, they can occur.
Yo, I know. Firsthand, I know, and so do you.
Right.
So yeah, with that also, you have what is it, the woman's urinal type of.
Yes, I've been seeing those.
It's the little. Okay, so it is a plastic container this big. It has an opening that's curved, kind of like a guy's cup when they play baseball.
Right.
And literally, that was life changing for me, because I
Really?
could not keep going. I would have the kids just drain it out for me or whatever,
Got you.
2-3 times a night. Yeah, so you just would sit up, put it
And-
in between your legs,
Okay.
and then just use the bathroom.
Right. That's, wow.
It's really dope. So that's important to have, because if you're going to be on your hands, on your elbows, and you can't lay on your butt and you're not even trying to move because the liposuction is hurting your body and or whatever, that was something that I would suggest that everyone who's going through surgery and is going to be down for a bit would
Right.
get, because it'd be them moments where you're like, "Oh, I don't feel like getting up."
Right. Yeah, that's true too. Also, just having your prescriptions
Yes.
already filled in advance so that you don't have to worry about that after the surgery. Your fajas, those are so important. You need to live in your compression garments.
So put a pin on it.
Okay.
So currently, I have my faja on under this.
Okay.
Specifically for that reason. I'm still healing, so let's just show them what that looks like.
Okay.
It's
So
we're just going to show that part.
it's a compression garment, and
Right.
it pretty much pulls up over your shoulders,
Right. It pulls
and
up
it
over the
goes
shoulder
down
and it stops
to
here,
your thighs,
to my knees.
to your knees. Okay.
And it's obviously these called?
They're clips. I just call them
these
clips.
Yeah, so this is pretty much it. I'm still wearing mine currently because we're 3 months post-op.
Post-op.
Reconstruction surgery.
Right. And so they're adjustable, so you can adjust it when your waist is getting smaller, because initially you're going to be so swollen and inflamed that you're going to be on the first hook.
Right.
Once you start to get your massages, which please, ladies, fellas, get lymphatic massages after any of your surgeries. It is very important.
That's a whole nother topic.
It's a whole nother topic, but I'm just going to say that for now. Just make sure you get that. But in the meantime, as you're getting those massages and the inflammation and the swelling is starting to go down, you'll be able to adjust your faja accordingly so that way it can fit to your body at that time.
Right.
So, yes, it's important. And they have different ones. So, as Brenda mentioned, she has the ones that go down to her knees because she had liposuction and she had a tummy tuck. But for those who are getting a full 360, you're going to need one of these plus the arm garment.
I had that one as well.
Yeah, so they can definitely help you with your arms and supporting that area as well. And then ladies, if you're getting breast augmentation, you will need to have the compression garment for a bra.
The bra, right.
For your breasts.
Definitely. So on the other side of this, the preparation is mentally preparing for, well, what you think you can prepare for. Because, you know, what you think versus what you actually go through afterward it's a bit different. So you're like, okay, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to go through this surgery and I'm going to look better. I'm going to feel better and things are going to be better. That's what you hope for, is always the best. However, then you go through the surgery and you end up with not so, I won't say not so good, but not so promising results.
Right.
You know, because the doctor is going to do what he is paid to do. However, his skill set, he could have been a doctor who got a C in school, y'all.
Right. That's true.
You know, he wasn't a straight A student. He got a C. He barely made it.
Right, exactly.
And he performing a surgery on your body.
Yeah.
So, no, you come out and it's like, do I like this? Do I not like this? I got to adjust to this, especially if you're like me. So when I went in, I was like 210 pounds.
Okay.
Right? 5'2", like small, however, wide and heavy. The heavy Chevy was back there. And,
you had a wide load.
had a wide load. So after that surgery, it was just like coming down from maybe like a 14 to like a 10 was dramatic for me. And now being in a 6 is even more dramatic. And it's just like life-changing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it took all of these surgeries to get here. You know, working out, even after the removal, it still wasn't really doing anything for me.
And it was the opposite for me. So I went in, I believe I was 150 pounds.
Okay.
And then I dropped down to about 130 pounds.
Wow, okay.
But then I had to gain the weight so that I could start doing the reconstruction. So then I had to go up to 165 pounds. And that was different for me because I liked my smaller frame. So now
I liked you thick, girlfriend. You was looking scrumdiddlyumptious.
Yeah, but the thickness, they don't tell you that your thighs rub.
Yeah, they do.
Sidebar. I'm sorry. Nobody talks about this. When you have a bigger butt, you have the butt sweat. You have like the chafing, the overheat. It's just too much. Nobody talks about that. It looks good, but it comes with a full price. And I need y'all to understand that. Like, you want these huge butts. It come with a whole price. You better keep some wipes, some extra underwear, like all kinds of stuff, because that's what happens. Yes, your butt sweats. It looks great, but it's going to sweat. It's going to get hot. Your thighs rub. Like, nobody talks about those things. And I didn't like my thighs rubbing. I'm like, it was so uncomfortable.
It is. It's very uncomfortable.
And so I was like, oh, gosh, I couldn't wait to have these.
That's thick girl problems.
You know, I know. It is thick girl problems.
But you know, thick thighs save lives. So
yeah, they do. They do. I can't hold you on that. However,
I'm
for
still
me,
holding on to them, but I got a little baby gap now, so I'm just like, you see that?
Oh,
You can
so
put a
you
straw.
good.
You can put a straw through it. That's it.
okay.
Just the straw.
Well, you good though.
I got a little gap.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little baby gap.
A little
Baby
one.
gap, gap, gap. Baby gap, gap, gap.
It's the baby gap.
It's the baby gap. No, but it's for real. Like
Right.
it's people don't really talk about that.
But
like,
even your breasts, like
yes, underneath the breast sweat.
underneath of your breast sweat as well.
Yes, I have to put deodorant underneath my breast, in between my thighs, and like deodorant was going
So
everywhere.
that's a real thing. Like people look at me like I'm crazy. You definitely in the summertime got to put deodorant on the side of your inner thighs, especially if they thick, because that. I don't know if it's the coochie meat or the thigh meat or what.
It's meat.
It's meat, and it's all just like a jambalaya down there. We trying to keep it fresh.
Exactly.
So
yes, I don't. You can look at me crazy, but listen, it stopped me from
it does.
sweating.
It does stop it, and you know, Johnson and Johnson. That was a bad look for them.
I know, with the baby powder,
Yes.
the talc in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that.
We'll
That
be
sucks.
having a call 10 years from now.
Right.
Call 1-800 if you suffer from mesothelioma or whatever it is. Remember that commercial?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like call this number and
Exactly.
yeah, ladies, if you were using baby powder, which is crazy to me
Right.
because you should know these things before.
But no, it used to be shower to shower. Remember? My mom used to have shower to
shower.
shower.
It was also baby powder.
Yeah, but the shower to shower was the women's powder.
Oh, the women's
and they
powder.
would put
yeah.
it down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, who the hell want to walk around with a powdery white coochie?
I don't know. That's how they stay fresh, though.
That was too much.
Like, if you think about it, like, each era has their own thing that they do
Yeah,
to
they
stay
did.
fresh.
They did.
Like, it was the douching era. Like, everybody had the douche at one point in time. Then it was the powder era. Then we went into the deodorant everywhere. Like,
Yes.
your whole body got deodorant. So
Even
it just
on the bottom of
depends.
my feet because they sweat.
Right. So it just depends
My
on.
feet sweat, y'all, but they don't stink. They really don't. Right, babe? Where you at? I can tell you they clean and fresh and soft.
I know that's right. But yeah, so I'm like, it just go over your whole body, you'll stop sweating.
Right. No, but even with adding to that, I'm thinking of what else was there in preparation for it. So obviously we talked about the medicine. You want to have your prescriptions ready.
Oh yeah, food for sure. Have meal prep. Meal prep is the best thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have somebody that can be with you for the 24 hours a day that you would need care, have meals already prepared so that way you can just throw it in the microwave and go ahead and eat and take care of it that way.
Because when you're on antibiotics, you definitely need to
You
eat.
have
and
to
have it on
eat.
an empty
Yeah,
stomach.
you have to, even in recovery in general, your body needs the nutrition
Right. It
so
does.
that it can fully heal and prepare your body
Lots of water.
to go through. Yeah, lots of water.
Lots of water. Staying away from sugary stuff, no matter what surgery you've had.
And fried foods. No fried foods, no sugary items, plenty of water, getting your vitamins, making sure you're taking that. And just eating like healthy fatty foods like salmon, avocado, almonds,
Right.
things of that nature. Like
Pajamas.
oh yeah, you want
Comfortable pajamas.
comfortable pajamas because you're going to live in your pajamas.
Right.
That's where you're going to be in
Your
pajamas.
fajas and your pajamas.
Fajas and pajamas the
You
whole
want
time.
pillows and comfortable comforters.
Yep.
What else?
Have your Netflix ready to go because
Yep.
you're going to want to watch,
Definitely.
movies or shows or whatever. Just have your whole list ready to go so that you can just press a button and go.
That's also a time to be able to like clean out your phone because you're going to be on either your stomach or your back or whatever. Like cleaning out your phone
Or even getting some books
writing some stuff,
writing and then journaling.
journaling.
You're going through this journey. Journal.
Right. Oh, work.
Work. So work. So you want to
You're like,
definitely
wah, wah.
work. So when it comes to work, if you are at your job for over a year and you have those benefits package,
Right.
do FMLA. Definitely do FMLA. You'll be able to do that. If you have short-term disability, you'll be able to tap into those benefits as well. And utilize it. It is for you to use. And hypothetically, they can't ask how you had surgery, what you had surgery on, or what you were doing. So use it. It's a HIPAA violation, so they can't ask. So definitely use it.
Now, as far as mentally preparing for it, right? Double back to that. I remember when I was going in, right? And I thought about who phone is that?
Are we getting a call? Oh, we're getting a call.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm gonna put a pin on it.
Put a pin on that.
Put a pin on it.
Caller, are you there?
I don't know if they can hear me.
Caller?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Let me put it this way. Hello.
Yes. Hi, caller. Where you calling from? What's your name?
How you doing? From Philadelphia.
Billy in the house.
Hey, what's your name?
It sounds so low. I can barely hear.
Can you hear us
But,
now?
Oh yeah, you sound a lot better now.
Oh,
Yep.
perfect. So I'll just stay close to the mic.
Hey.
Hey. So you got a question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I want to first say thanks for having me.
Oh,
Having
of course.
me on
Thank you.
there. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So I have a few questions.
Okay.
But one of the most important questions that I have is once you, after your surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any emotions that you go through within the first 2 to 3 weeks? Because I hear people say that, sometimes they go through they experience being depressed and feeling down.
Yes. So for me, it depends, right? So my last surgery was different than the other surgeries. So I will say, yes, you can develop some type of depression by way of this being a new experience for you, a new body, your emotions, you've been through anesthesia, and then you're trying to wean off of that. How many days does that take? Like a day or two? 2 days?
It's about 2 days
You
to
know,
get out of your
and
system.
then you're groggy and you're tired and you're restless and emotional. So yes, you can experience depression. Not everyone experiences it. And also the reason why you would experience it is because of the pain and the change in your body again. What do you have?
Yeah, for the emotional piece, you're going to have a lot of pain. That comes with surgery. And so for the first maybe week or so when you're down and out or you have to get up and use the bathroom, you're questioning yourself why did I do this?
Exactly.
What made me do this? This is painful. I just wanted to be over. You want to be able to do and live your normal life. And for a little bit, it's going to be on hold for at least 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what you've gotten done. So even if it was a 12-week time frame for me, it was hard. Once you get to week 7, you're over it.
Right, definitely.
So it's you're oh, I'm tired. When is this over? I just want to be done. But you have to find different words of affirmation and different positive things that you can listen to, even if it's a sermon or whatever it is to help you get through that time, or just encouraging yourself and just saying, okay, well, by the time I am healed, I will have the body that I paid for and that I wanted. So it's that emotional piece. You are going to go on an emotional roller coaster. You will be up and down the entire time.
Mm-hmm. But
Okay.
this too shall pass. So just keep that in mind. Because I remember.
So I didn't even. So let me say this first.
Mm-hmm.
And thank y'all too for having sharing these experiences that y'all experience.
Oh, you're
just
welcome.
sharing.
Definitely.
People usually, it's hard to get information from people. When you're inquiring about undergoing a tummy tuck or whatever surgery, or whatever. So me preferably, I'm looking to get. I'm interested in getting a tummy tuck. I'm noticing that a lot of people is flying out and getting them done. And, from doing my research, I'm hearing that you're not supposed to fly after you receive surgery. So could you give me a little bit of information about that?
You want to go ahead?
Or experience on it?
Well, technically you're not. They always encourage you to stay wherever you are. So if you do decide to fly to another state or country, you need to be there for 30 days. You should not be flying beforehand. Blood clots can occur. Anything can occur in the airplane because the altitude is different. You're going to be in the air, so
Especially without blood thinners.
yeah, without blood thinners, it's going to be a major problem. And even if you have drains, like you should not be traveling with drains. That just can cause so many different complications that you don't want to have, like infection, fluid to your lungs. I mean, it can really get nasty.
Yeah, I agree.
So wherever you are, if you do decide to travel, plan to be there for 30 days. And not to mention, doctors are going to want to see you for your follow-up visits. Whoever performed the surgery, they want to see you several times before they release you to, go back home.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just listen. Like my mind is just like rambling because I got so many questions.
Oh no!
Oh,
it's okay.
and that's another thing I want to ask too. Okay, so I was told today that, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research or whatever. So I'm trying to find out. Well, I'm on this site, this plastic surgery site or whatever, right? And they were saying that once you get a tummy tuck, the fat is stored in other areas. Like it doesn't go back to where you got the surgery done at, but it can go like in your arms or other places. Could you elaborate on that? Like, have you all experienced that before?
Yeah, I have. So when I had lipo, in my stomach, obviously my stomach was much smaller than my hips to butt ratio, and it stayed that way. So even when I did gain weight, it wasn't in my stomach area per se that I would gain weight. It's everywhere else. My thighs got way bigger. My arms got bigger. So yeah, I would say that's true.
Because with tummy tucks, they actually go in and they tighten that muscle. So it is harder for fat to now store there, so it's going to store everywhere around it. Like I've known people that have gotten liposuction and they, instead of their stomach getting fatter, they gain love handles or back fat or thigh fat. Like when you have these surgeries, you do have to have maintenance with it. You still have to watch what you eat. You still have to exercise, because if not, you are going to gain that weight back, and it is going to be in other areas, and it is going to be very noticeable.
Yeah, it is. Like when you pay for a tummy tuck, make sure if you're actually pursuing getting a tummy tuck, make sure that you get like a lipo 360. That's the back fat, the under the bra fat, the sides, because from my own personal experience, my doctor didn't go and do what he was supposed to do. He did not lipo under like where the bra fat is. So you see like a very snatched tight lower abdomen all the way going up towards where the breast area is, and then there is a roll. So that's something that I have to work on personally myself. So you want to be mindful when you do have the consultation with the doctor that you're very, very descriptive on what your ideal outcome will be, so that you guys are both on the same accord.
I got one more question because
Sure.
I don't even know how many more questions I can ask. But what, from personal experience, what advice would you give someone that is listening that is looking to get surgery or want to get their stomach and stuff done? Like, what are the things that you would have probably did different that you didn't do that you would tell somebody else? Like, what suggestions would you give them?
Okay, so I first would tell anyone who's looking to get surgery, are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for someone else? Like per se, a relationship type of situation. If you're doing it for yourself and you feel like you've had children and or you just gained weight and lost weight and it's not going anywhere, then obviously go ahead, do what you need to do as far as surgery is concerned, but do your research and your due diligence to make sure that you have the best doctor that's going to work for you, and not just, oh, they having a $499 special, $5,000. Don't do that. Like I wouldn't, not to like talk bad about anyone who is actually going for specials and stuff like that, but think about it. If you're doing hair and somebody come into your chair and they sitting down and your sewings be $150, but you're doing a $80 special, are you really going to put that much heart and soul into that $80 sewing? No, because you're trying to get as many as you can get. Think about that in surgery. Like, pay the $150 and just know that the doctor is worth $150. He's getting what he's worth, so he's going to put that in his work.
I agree.
Wow, yeah, you summed it up.
You get what you pay for,
You
basically.
definitely get what you pay for, and just do your research, please. Like, it's a lot of doctors that are popping up and they are butchering people. So just do your research. Make sure you see their work. Like, ask to see their work. If they don't have photos on their website, I would be asking for a photo gallery in person when you do a consultation with them.
True.
Just definitely see their work. See if you can even, talk to people that may have been there. And had surgery with them. I'm sure going in, you'll see patients waiting to be seen. So maybe somebody would be willing to even have a conversation with you about their experience. But I would definitely do your research.
Oh, wait, I want to say this too to you. When anyone who gets surgery and are on like pain pills and or antibiotics, stool softeners, gas X, and
Yes,
Tums
Tums.
is so important
It's
to have
yes,
on hand.
have that on deck, especially if you are going out of the country and you don't know the language and there's a language barrier. Have these things on hand because when you need it, you want to be able to just grab it yourself and not have to try
Right.
to explain to a nurse or a doctor what is it that you need and you don't speak that language. That was one of the things that we
Right.
experienced going over to Colombia.
Right.
Well, well, I thank y'all so much. Um, I guess is anxiety normal? Like when
Yes.
oh, that is normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Anxiety.
absolutely.
Yes. Just even us, we
Yeah.
still are not done with surgeries for our reconstruction. And it's like, yeah, we got to get it done. Do we really want to do it? No, not really. But you get anxious, especially when you've had infections, especially when you've had blood clots and situations. It's scary. It's,
Especially when you've done it 3 times and you're
yeah.
like, I'm tired already. I'm tired of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Having to go
So,
through it again to be on my stomach and on my arms and being in that uncomfortable situation, like thinking about it gives me anxiety
it
because
does.
it's a lot. Like, it is a lot to endure. And I don't want to discourage anybody, but I just want people to be prepared.
Yeah. And it's definitely going for the tummy tuck, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt like hell for the first 2 3 days. Then it kind of like subsides, and you can't sneeze, you can't laugh, you can't do a lot of things. And it was a humbling experience to have my nurse have to bathe me and clean me and all of these different things. I was never ever in a position, even with surgeries prior to, I never had anyone have to like clean up after me or
I
anything.
was introduced to the cleaning after me in the
So
hospital when
what
I
would
had
you?
my
I got
first
another
surgery.
question. I told you I got questions for Dee.
Go ahead.
Look, it's probably somebody out there too that's listeners like, Dad, like I'm glad, like he hitting the right one. Like,
Go ahead. What's
so
the
if
question?
someone was, because with these deals that they running out of state, because I did some research in Miami and I didn't got down to the lowest price. I believe like it was like 55, um, and then I got 62, 72. But for a person that's saying, like, say if you really want it done and disregard any information that they receive in the night and they just go down there by themselves, would you recommend, like, would you tell a person, like, like take somebody with you or go by yourself? Like, are you able to like physically get around and function
No,
after
No,
the procedure is done?
no,
absolutely
you
not.
need somebody
Mm-mm.
with you. You
And you
need
can,
somebody with you.
and actually, JB passed out. You passed out several times,
Yeah,
and you didn't have a tummy tuck.
I didn't have a tummy tuck. I'd had a BBL, and it was reconstruction for me. And I went to the bathroom. My nurse was in there with me, and I woke up in the bedroom. Had no idea that I passed out, and it happened to me 3 times. Once we actually tried to go out and have breakfast, and I don't even remember getting back to our location.
Yeah,
So you need somebody because anything can happen. My sugar levels would not stabilize. I kept experiencing low sugar, so that's what was making me pass out. But you won't know that. I didn't know that that would occur. So I would definitely recommend having somebody that you trust who can be there to support you and help you get through these things.
yeah, me too. I would definitely say that.
Wow.
So don't go into this alone.
or get a
Yeah,
nurse.
and don't
We
go
had,
into it just running after a price. I guess that's right, because I hear a lot of people saying like Miami, 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 because it's so cheap. I actually just seen this young lady. Again, I'm on this plastic surgery group that came back with a skin infection, and she almost died.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary when you following it. But again, I do a lot. I've been doing a lot of research because I'm interested.
Right.
I'm I don't know. I'm really feeling like, oh, I want to get it done. But then on the flip side, it's like, all right, I see everybody posting the pictures about how good it is and this, that, and the third. But like how you really feel when you behind the scenes, like how you feel when you're not, around nobody, you're not posting the pictures, like how you feel about the scar that you guys have there forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like a lot of things that I think about as well, opposed to just having this couture body that I want.
Right.
right.
As far as the scars on your body, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because that's something that we deal with on an everyday basis. It's just seeing yourself from no scars and no marks on your body to, feeling like Frankenstein, as you said before. Sometimes, obviously we're beautiful women, we're strong and confident, but we're still human. And at the end of the day, there are days where, I'll post something and it's like I'll get bombarded with praises and like, oh, you're this, you're that. But at the end of the day, when the only person who sees me naked is my man, and so me and him know what I'm working with and dealing with. So it looks good, but later on for me, I'll be getting tattoos because I don't care to see the scars myself. But with time they fade. It's not preventing me from wearing bathing suits or anything like that. But it is something that is kind of like a constant reminder of what you went through. And I just, want to move forward.
And it can provide some self-consciousness too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, like I remember when I went out for the first time and I'm like having on a bathing suit and I'm asking my friends like, can you see the scar? Can you see it?
Constantly.
And constantly and like readjusting and just feeling super uncomfortable. And then I had to learn to live with that. Like, listen, you had made a decision, you gone through the surgery and the recovery, you're here today. So don't even worry about a damn scar, because I could have been in the ground. That's what my doctor told me. Like if I was injected a little bit more to the left, she would have injected me straight in my heart and I wouldn't be here today. So scars is the last and the least thing that I need to be concerned about, but it is still a concern.
It is.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that, I called in because I think I'm going to do some more
research.
reconsidering of this.
Yeah.
And I guess you just got to weigh out the pros and cons. And I hope that, the questions that I asked wasn't discouraging to anybody else. Again, because, that's not the whole point. I just wanted to know for my own self, I just wanted just a few questions I wanted to ask. It's kind of, it's kind of hard to get somebody to open up and just be, put them in a place where as though, let's say vulnerable a little bit, to where as though they can express and share, how they feel or their experience.
Yeah, of course. And we don't want to discourage anyone either. We just want you all to be prepared to ask the right questions, to think about certain things so you can be ready.
Exactly.
When you make that decision to go for it, you have an informed decision. It's not something that you're doing on a whim.
Right.
Well, I thank y'all for answering all my questions.
No problem.
Well,
thank you
for
so
calling
much.
in.
Thank you
We
for calling
appreciate it.
in.
All right, not a problem.
Take care.
Yeah, so she asked some really great questions, and it's nobody tells you about it. Like you said, and like she mentioned, you are on Instagram and you're just seeing the end result. You don't know what happens behind the scene. You don't know what happens in their thought process. And yes, it's great to show that off, and it's great that you're happy with your results. But people want to know like what your mental state was and what your experience was too.
Yeah, and especially the flip side of that. You don't know, I may look good to you, but you don't know if this is what I actually wanted to come out looking like.
Right.
Right,
You're like,
exactly. Damn, girl, you look fine, you look good. And it's like, yeah, I am, but I was thinking more of voila. Not pow pow, Just like, this is not what I asked for.
Right.
But I'll take it. I'm here, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you're like, you'll take it at the end, but
Yeah.
that's true too. Like, I definitely went in this last surgery like expecting different results, and I didn't get what I anticipated or expected.
No, and then you're back at the drawing board because surgery can be very addictive. It's kind of like your first tattoo. Oh, I got one. You went through the pain. You're like, I'm not doing that shit again. And then, you know what? I was thinking about getting a tattoo right here. And then you go, and it just like 5 tattoos in, you're like, I didn't even realize that I was 5 tattoos in. That's how it is with surgery. It's like once you know you can fix something by surgery, it's like, all right, you're going to constantly, or you can constantly be one who is trying to improve themselves, especially if you're a perfectionist, which we tend to be sometimes.
I know I tend to be for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm like, that's why I'm on this journey now. Like, I could stop.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. I could stop and
Right.
say, okay, this is what it is. But I'm like, no, I want to be
Right.
restored. I
Right.
want to go back to my natural butt.
Right. I agree. Me too.
So I'm like, that's what I'm working on now and having the right shape. But I mean, again, we could stop, but we don't.
Yeah. No. I want to stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. So as long as I'm rocking, you rolling, I'm rocking.
Listen, so it is what it is. I still want to make changes, and
Right.
I do not discourage anybody. If you do want to make changes to yourself, make the changes.
Right.
Just make sure that you are in a healthy place and can do it without having those major complications. Like, we had a scare with you not knowing certain things. So it's
Right.
like, make sure you just get your blood work done, get your EKGs, like, get everything you need to get to prepare for going underneath the knife.
Yeah, but even with all the preparation, honestly, it's really the will of God. If you're going to go through something, hopefully you're going to get through it. And it's just hopefully, because not everyone can sit up and, go, because we went actually with all of our vitals were great. We had
Right.
EKGs. We went through everything. And so, I mean, there was no reason for us to question or worry about anything because the doctors cleared us
Right.
and we were good. And then, you go to sleep, they hit you in that vein and they're like talking to you and you just fade.
Not off.
And you're not off, you fade and you wake up and you're like looking and it's like, oh, you're experiencing X, Y, and Z. And you're like, what the freak?
I know the last time was scary for me.
It
Now,
was
any
very
other
scary.
time I had gone through from the initial surgery to the 2 reconstruction surgeries, when I woke up, I was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like problems or anything. I knew where I was. I was very coherent. That third time, being in a whole different country, we'll talk about that more
Yeah.
a little later on.
Right.
Waking up and experiencing heartburn as if I was my whole body was on fire and pain at the same time.
And they didn't understand what
And
you
they
were
didn't
saying.
understand what I was saying, and I was trying to bust out all the Spanish words I knew. I'm like, Senora, ayúdame, Senora, por favor, Senora.
Yes, your
And
Spanish kicked in, huh?
I couldn't figure out how to say Tums. I had the worst heartburn, and I'm like, pain, Tums, pain. They looking at me like, huh? Like, what?
My poor girlfriend, she went through it,
I
y'all.
went through it. It was such a traumatic experience. Like,
It was.
I am still traumatized to this
It
day.
is traumatizing.
I mean, I was in so much pain. So much pain. And I've sat there like that for hours.
I know. So after you, 2 days later when I'm in there and I'm now in the recovery area, it's like not being able to breathe and feeling that the gas, like I told you, and the phlegm.
Right.
Oh my God, that was the worst pain ever. It was like not being able to breathe, one, and then two, the gassy feeling, but like you can't pass gas and you can't do anything. You're just like stuck, like you're about to explode.
Yeah.
That's how that felt, and it was just like the worst. They didn't have Tums.
They didn't know what I was talking about.
Did we find Tums? Eventually?
We found their version of
Their
Tums,
version of
but
Tums.
they didn't know what I was talking about at
Oh,
all.
the milk of magnesia too. That's the only
That
thing.
was for
like,
you,
a
yeah,
week,
for the
2
gas.
weeks late, like when we were leaving, that's when it started to kick in. It's like, oh, now it's working. But when I needed it to work, it wasn't working, and that shit hurt.
Man, listen, when I tell you, just get everything you could possibly get. We're talking about, acid reflux and gas or whatever. Just have all of those things on hand.
Yeah,
Just
pretty
have it
much.
on hand, especially if you're going in another country. I can't emphasize that enough. Have it on hand. Because you will need something of that nature. Like even have your pain meds, just have it there because it's brutal. It's brutal.
So what we gonna get ready for next week?
So, gosh, next week we are going to have some special guests on.
Yes.
One being your man,
Yay!
and one being my best friend / sister.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about how it was for them to support us during this time and what they experienced being on the opposite end.
Right.
So that is something that we wanted to discuss and to, have them weigh in on the topic.
Right.
And also even, take callers if anyone calls in to discuss these things.
I also think we need to bring on the
The nurse.
yes, having a nurse.
Yeah, we're going to bring the nurse on. That's important.
Post-op is so important.
Yeah,
The
post-op
massages.
care, the massages, what to expect, what to look for. So yes, please tune in for our next segment next week, because that is something that we will be discussing, and we'll have some great people on to share their knowledge, to share their experience, and we'll have a nurse on who can really just go in.
Yes, can't wait.
All right. Well, see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta rock with me on the way out.
I was gonna say it's the shoulder rock for me.
It's the shoulder rock. We'll get them shoulders.